In this video, I'm going to share with you a very simple blueprint to start making life-changing money as a content creator, even if you're on day one of your journey. And this is the exact method that I use to get to my first 10K a month, and it's what countless other new creators are doing as well, even if they only have a small audience. So let's just get straight into this then. So if you are a new creator, there might be a question that you're asking yourself right now, which is, why would anyone buy from me? And if you're thinking that, you are definitely not alone, because I remember when I was first getting started as a creator, I had that thought so many times. I remember thinking I'm not credible enough, or I'm not an expert in anything. Who am I to charge money to strangers on the internet? And maybe you can relate to that feeling, because I think it is a very common limiting belief for a lot of beginners. But in my opinion, almost everyone watching this video can make money from content creation, because I guarantee that you have something valuable to share. I guarantee you have a certain perspective, or a certain insight, or a certain personal transformation that you can help other people with as well. And if I'm being completely honest with you, I think your main issue right now probably comes down to your self-belief and your self-confidence as well. Because on my journey, I had these negative thoughts for a long time as well. I remember thinking, I'm not good enough, or I'm not knowledgeable enough to teach anything. And for months, it held me back from actually trying to make money as a content creator. However, the thing that changed everything for me was understanding that you don't need to be an expert in a niche to actually make money. You just need to be a few steps ahead and then turn around and help the person that is right behind you. And that's it. That's the whole game. And this mindset changed everything for me, because I remember when I first started to make good money from content creation, I launched an online product where I was teaching complete beginners how to use Photoshop. And I am definitely not an expert in Photoshop. I don't have some fancy degree in graphic design. I don't have any degree in graphic design, but it's something that I genuinely love. And I definitely have enough experience to help someone who is just starting from zero. And the moment that I fixed that limiting belief in my brain, that is when I started making money as a creator. So let's get into the actual blueprint then. So what steps do you need to take to start making money as a new creator? Well, the first step is actually very simple, and that's to figure out who your content is for. And the crazy thing about this is that these days, you don't need a huge audience to make money from content creation. I could give you endless examples of creators who are making a lot of money with only a small audience. These days, the most important thing is getting the right people to watch your videos. I'm talking about people who find your videos and think, wow, this channel was made for me. These videos are exactly what I need. And when you focus your videos towards this one type of person, that will give you so much direction for your content, because then you don't get caught in the trap of just posting random videos for months on end and kind of just hoping for the best. Now, having said that, if you've never posted a video before and you're in that stage of just trying to get more confident on camera, it's okay to post random videos about lots of different things at first, if you're just trying to get used to the idea of talking to a camera. So if you are in that early stage, don't put too much pressure on yourself. But in the long run, you want to be asking yourself questions like, what type of person is my content actually for? And what kind of problems is that person struggling with? And you don't need to overcomplicate it. Just imagine one real person who would genuinely benefit from what you've learned or what you've lived through, and then just make content for them. Because that is the first step to turning all this into something meaningful and something that makes you a lot of money as well. So now we have an idea of who we're making content for. That actually leads us nicely onto step 2, which is when the algorithm starts to work with you and not against you. So here's the truth. The algorithm isn't your enemy. And I hear this all the time. I hear people say things like, oh, the algorithm hates me, or the algorithm is working against me, and things like that. But trust me, that's just not how it works. Because if you are creating content that's a little bit all over the place and it doesn't have a clear message and it's aimed at lots of different types of people, the algorithm won't be able to figure out who to show your content to. So if you look at my channel, for example, I am over the moon with how this channel is performing so far. I've only been doing this a few months and we're on over 7,000 subscribers, which is absolutely crazy. But I think one of the main reasons why this channel has performed so well is because every single video on the channel is aimed at the same type of person. So every single video is aimed at new creators who want to grow faster and earn more money. Now, if I posted a video on this channel about one of my other interests, for example, I'm into MMA, so I'm a big fan of UFC. So if I posted a video about how to get into MMA, I cannot even imagine how badly that video would bomb on this channel. And I know that's a very extreme example, but that's kind of what you're doing when you're making lots of different videos about all these different topics aimed at all these different types of people. However, when you always create content with your ideal viewer in mind, the algorithm will love you because all your videos are perfectly curated for just one type of person. So yeah, that is easily the most powerful method for getting the algorithm to work for you and not against you. So step number 3 is to create clear and intentional call to actions. So now that we have content that is all aimed at one type of person and the algorithm is starting to work with us, now we need a place to actually send our viewers. Because if there's no next step for the viewer to take after watching your videos, then to be honest, you're not going to make any money. So what is a call to action? Well, the way I see it is it's just a simple invitation for what your viewer should do next. And with every piece of content you make, whether it's a short form video, a YouTube video, a newsletter, it should have some sort of call to action. Now, if you don't know what to sell yet, that is completely fine. For example, I'm not selling anything on this channel yet, but what we can do for now is offer your audience something valuable for free. And if you're just getting into this stuff, this is called a lead magnet. So this could be a template, this could be a preset, this could be a checklist for beginners. It can be anything really, as long as it's genuinely useful and easy to say yes to. And the reason why a lead magnet is so powerful is because then you don't have to hard pitch an expensive product in your videos. Like, can you imagine if right now I started trying to sell you a $2,000 course or something like that? Like, that would just feel so weird and out of place. But by offering a lead magnet, you can build trust, you can also get their email, and you're also kind of inviting them deeper into your world. For example, I do have a lead magnet at the moment, which is a 5-day roadmap for creating and launching a content-based business. And because it's a lead magnet, it is completely free. Also, if you do want to download it, there'll be a link in the description. Okay, so for step number 4, let's talk about setting all this up. So how do we actually give someone a lead magnet? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to create a very simple page that takes their email address, and then we send them the lead magnet to their email, and they also become part of our email list. And an email list is so easy to set up. I think people get really stressed out about this and they really overthink this, but it's so easy to do. And I'm not going to go into too much detail in this video because I've gone into a lot of detail before in other videos on this channel. But why is creating an email list so important? Well, firstly, the world of content creation is wildly unpredictable. So your views are going to go up and down, left and right. And just generally speaking, you never really know what's going to happen. But if you build an email list, you can reach out to your audience whenever you want, you know, away from social media and algorithms. And the second reason is you can actually start laying the foundations of a content-based business, because this way you don't need millions of views to actually start making money, which actually perfectly brings us on to step number 5, which is where you might be asking, but what do I even sell? Now, there are a number of different ways that you can make money as a content creator. I'd say generally there are 3 main income streams that you can try. So you can set up coaching, so one-to-one coaching. This is where you help one specific person on a one-to-one basis with a mini transformation or just something that you can help them with. And then you've got digital products as number 2. So this is where you can sell something like a template or a digital asset or some sort of digital download, so a guide to solve a specific problem or something like that. And then you've got educational products as number 3. So you can sell a course or maybe a community. Now, here's the thing. All the YouTube gurus are going to tell you that you have to sell a specific type of product. So they'll say you have to sell digital products, or they'll say that a school community is the only way to make money nowadays. But the truth is that they all can work. I could give you endless examples of creators making a lot of money using all 3 of those options. And the best option for you kind of depends on your niche. For example, if you're in a niche where personalized help is really useful or accountability is really valuable to your audience, then one-on-one coaching would probably be a great place to start. Or if you have specific knowledge that you can package up into a product and it's the same knowledge that a lot of different people are asking you for, then an educational product like a course or a community is probably the way to go. So it's kind of dependent on what you're actually helping people with. So a little tip for you here, if you are a little bit stuck on this, is to stop asking the question, what product should I sell? And start asking, what transformation do people want from me? And what's the best way to deliver that transformation? So yeah, I think that's a really useful way to reframe that question, which actually leads us nicely onto the final step, which is to create a content feedback loop. So I think this is where a lot of creators actually get stuck, because this is where you're starting to gain a little bit of traction. You know, the views are starting to come in, the subscribers are starting to come in, the followers are starting to come in, but then you don't really know what to do next. So how do we scale things up and keep building that momentum? Well, one of the smartest things you can do at this point is to double down on things that are clearly working. And let me give you an example. So in my own journey, I recently noticed something a little bit strange. So I noticed that whenever I would post a video that had a really overly edited, polished thumbnail, you know, with like a bright background and really stylized, the video would just never perform that well. But when my branding and my presentation felt more real and more authentic to the actual video, then it always performed better. And I actually didn't make that connection until very recently, even though it seems so obvious. So here's the lesson. Your content is constantly giving you feedback. So when you start paying attention to what your audience is responding to, you can start to create this feedback loop. So you start posting consistent videos, and when you notice that a video is outperforming all the others, you just make more content about that topic, or you present similar ideas in a similar way. Because again, this means that you're not shooting in the dark and you don't have to kind of guess about what to post next, because your content itself is giving you the direction that you need. All you have to do is just follow that path. Now, if this is all starting to click for you, which I hope it is, then I think you might be ready for the next step, which is why in this video right here, I will give you the full path to reaching 10K a month and beyond as a content creator. So yeah, click onto that video and I'll see you there.